So what's being suggested is it's kind of like the art of not doing. Although there's no one doing or not doing, it's like the ride of undoing. Change happens without anyone doing anything. Like heartbeats happen, breathing happens. There's a narrative of trying, but no one is really trying. There's a dream of accomplishing or accomplishments, but no one has really accomplished anything. There's a dream of whatever seems to happen, but there's no input from anyone. Seasons change, the sun rises without any kind of control. It just happens. And at the same time, since it's a dream, nothing is really happening. In the apparent dream, in the apparent history of the dream, it used to be that the sun revolved around the planet, revolved around the earth. In the same dream, there was also a dream maker that dreamed up existence, a creator of some sorts, a source, that the illusion of doing matters. That morality reigned supreme, good or bad. Only if selected pure dreamers can realize the absolute. Maybe through practices, through righteousness, but it's the same dream. That's a dream of doing. In the same dream, if you go a little bit back further, the same dream, in the story, there was characters that were drowned for not being good enough. So in this dream, this historic dream of separation, there is a doer that had full control of its narrative, but at the same time, in the same dream, there is nothing. In the same dream, there is seeking. In the same dream, there is realization, but it's all a dream. If you notice in a dream, there's really no one doing anything. There's an appearance, there's this felt sense reality that I'm doing something, but the moment there's wakefulness, although no one wakes up, no one has ever done anything. It's a ride, it's a play, it's a show, but there's no one directing it. There's no one in it. It's just the entire game. So what's being suggested here is that doing is dreaming. Good or bad is dreaming. Separation is dreaming. Seeking is dreaming. Although there's no one to wake up because there's no one dreaming, it's just dreaming of itself. In separation, in technicolor, in you and I, in this meeting. So what's being suggested here is the art of not doing. There is this persistence of trying to get this. There's this persistence of missing it. There is this persistent illusion of losing and winning. There's this persistent illusion of opposites. But there is no such things as opposites because there's no one doing anything. So to speak, there's no movement happening because every movement is an illusion. Thinking, wishing, hoping is dreaming. There's nothing to hope for. There's nothing to long for. But longing and hoping and dreaming happens. But it's not really happening because it's a dream. In the same dream, there is realizations, there are failures, there are disasters, there are nightmares, but it's all a dream. In the dream, in the same dream, because there's no other dream other than this, there is a meeting happening, seeking happening, glimpsing happening, but it's all a dream. In the same dream, there is an apparent universe, In the same dream, it's seen also that there's no universe. In the same dream, there is fears of the unknown. In the same dream, there's known things. In the same dream, there's reality. But if it's all happening as a dream, what is reality? In the same dream, there is a source, a suggestion of a self, consciousness, awareness, but it's a dream. And before you ask, how do I wake up from this dream? Well, it's a dream. Even waking up is a dream. You do wake up in the dream, he goes to sleep in the dream, but there's no one that's waking up or sleeping. There's not even anyone that's dreaming. It's just a dream. In this same dream, there is going to be some confusion. There's going to be some clarity sometime too. In the same dream, there's going to be a meing or a being, an oscillation. But is there anyone awake in the dream? Apparently, but it's still a dream. So the art of not doing is very dreamlike, because there is a suggestion you're doing things, you're eating, you're laughing, you're crying, but really there's no one laughing or crying or eating. There's this realistic appearance of reality that doesn't have any weight. It's empty reality. It's a reality that is a dream. But in this dream of reality, seemingly, there's going to be some fluctuations and it's going to feel real. It's going to feel heavy or light. But when it's seen that there's no one doing any of this, the art of non-doing, the art of non-doership, the dream flows like a dream. It's not maintained. It's not tried to be challenged, because it's a dream. Even if challenge or maintaining happens, it's still a dream. So waking and dreaming and sleeping and everything is a dream. But there's no one dreaming. If you have any question about the dream, please go ahead. Hi, Emerson. Is there anyone outside of the dream? For example, when a speaker said that they're still in the dream, well, there's no one outside of the dream. Everything is a dream. It's a delusion thinking that someone's outside of the dream because it's still a dream. There's a seeing that there's a dream, that there's a wholeness, so to speak, that this is all a dream, but there's no one in it. There's no dreamer. So there's a false sense of knowing that there is someone that has awakened, but that knowing is also in a dream. It's like there is no one that is immune of the dream, no one that wakes up from the dream. It's basically a seeing that this is a dream, that this is all illusion. And the laughter usually happens, or a grieving, because what was thought first as something that was absolutely real, something that had weight, something that was preserved or something that was maintained is basically like a sand that slips through your fingers. It's really nothing. And there's no one immune, meaning that there's no one here. So there's no certain someone that has awakened from the dream. Everything is a dream. And when there is a relaxation, so to speak, that, oh, okay, life is, like that song, row, row, row your boat. Life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 merrily. How does it go again? Life is but a dream. It's just that it's like a little nursery rhyme. It's just the simplicity, the obviousness that this is dream and there's no one dreaming. Gently down the stream, yeah. Hi, Anne, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Hi, Emerson. Can you
Hello.
hear me? Can you hear me this
Barely,
time?
barely, but go ahead.
Okay, let me take this off and
Yeah,
just phone. Just a second. Is this better?
that's better. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like before I can move on, I need to address something about that word being compliant.
Okay, go ahead.
Compliant,
Yeah.
compliance.
Compliant. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
um, sort of submissive,
Yeah,
submission.
yeah,
Um, I just feel really not stuck, but it's like almost living in a hyper compliance and hyper submission
yeah,
and being sort of like pushed into that. So I was going to say beaten into submission, but
yeah, yeah.
it's that kind of uh um it's the thing about the doing the right thing,
Yeah.
being seen to do the right thing, even just a small thing like um, always being wrong. Like I don't like people hugging me. I really don't like it.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
don't know where I don't know where it's come from all of a sudden, but everybody's just hugging everyone, and I'm kind of like, no, please don't do that. But not but that seems to be the wrong thing. You know,
Seemingly, yeah.
people there seems to be there's a lot that seems to be the wrong thing,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like overriding that to do the right thing, to be compliant, to
Mm.
submit to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
did for quite a while, right? Was I was complying into the higher power that it's ineffable. I can't question it. And it was
yeah,
just basically the same as religion. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's in the narrative. Like again, in the dream,
mm,
right? That's kind of like
mm,
mentioning earlier. In the dream,
mm,
I used to believe that, if I, and this is kind of funny because I was talking about being drowned, in the biblical kind of like God, right? He drowned like everyone. And in
right,
the
yeah,
in the in the dream, and then because of that kind of like fear, right? I had to do the right thing. I had to do the right thing in my life. I had to be the highest um version of this character by being righteous and helping others, and there's nothing wrong or right about that. um but it was submission. It was complete submission to what is. And even if the even if I was basically in a separate idea of what is, basically kind of like separating what is good or bad and what is right action and wrong action. It was just a submission to that. So when I did wrong, apparently wrong, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of shame and guilt about that, and a lot of depression. Are you there, Anne? But when there is a maintenance of the dream of right or wrong or duality, a maintenance of what you can do or cannot do, then there is this suffering, because existence becomes suffering. It's a maintenance of the dream. You can also say that there's no dream when it's seen that everything is an illusion. You can also say that there's no illusion when everything is seen as an illusion. It's just what is. Someone said dreamboat. Oh, thanks. Hi, Emerson. I like the art of not doing. It's just a silly title. It's just there's really no one doing anything, and it's just a silly title. There's no one doing or not doing. Same thing. It's just a silly title. I like it.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi. Hi, Anne.
Yeah,
I thought you disappeared there for a moment, but you were muted, I guess.
I'm not sure what happened.
Were you
I'm on
talking
the
the whole
phone.
time?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, healing modalities.
Mhm.
I don't know, like Reiki and things like that, where
Yeah.
they have lineages.
Yeah.
And so you're calling on sort of the lineage.
It's all a
Is that,
dream, even that, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah. There's
it's
nothing wrong or
really,
right about it, but I almost become a Reiki master because I was just someone said that, oh, Emerson, you have a lot of great energy. You should be a Reiki master. And I'm like, ooh, another feather in
yeah,
my cap kind of thing. But
yeah,
it was just the story. It was just another ride, right? It was just
right.
it was just a narrative. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. But
Mm,
yeah, energy healing, Batman,
yeah,
same thing. It's all a dream.
because
Everything.
all this, I'm still doing my spiritual detox, so I'm not having anything to do with any of it. But I did used to really like Reiki,
Yeah, there's
but
nothing wrong with it. Why not?
I, I know, but I'm just kind of like trying to get a sense of I'm, if it came in just to kind of like, it's kind of to get sucked in again. But I
Yeah.
did, yeah, there's, but I don't want to get sucked in again to, all of that belief
Yeah.
system, and yeah,
We're not really doing any of it, right? So it's just a happening. So if you sucked in,
yeah,
not get sucked in, it's just what is.
yeah,
There's no one choosing to do Reiki or not to do Reiki, right? There's no one
yeah,
choosing to do energy healing or not. It just
mm,
happens. And
mm,
it's
mm,
not about getting rid of that or
mm,
avoiding it. It's just a happening,
mm,
right? It's not like but there is seemingly, here, there is an
mm,
apparent allergic reaction to spiritual stuff. And there's
mm,
nothing wrong with spiritual stuff. It's just a reaction. It's just like
mm,
the last thing that I had was incense. I was still addicted to incense. As of
mm.
2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, no more incense. Candles.
Okay.
Smells like leather and bourbon.
You've got the candles instead.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Someone sent me candles. I don't know who, but some
Okay.
characters send me candles. Maybe it's mahogany teak wood, and the other
Oh,
one is like leather, and it's very apparently manly scent, like leather, bourbon, that kind of thing. Used
okay.
to the room that I used to smell like a temple. I used to
No
nag
frankincense and
champa.
myrrh or
I
anything
like it
like
too, but
that.
you know what? It's it's just a scent. It's just an illusion. It is what it
Yeah.
is, right? So it's
Yeah.
but that was the
Yeah.
last. Like I needed to create like a space that was holy and everything, and it's just a
Mm-hmm.
story because there's no space and there's no
Mm-hmm.
such thing as holy or not holy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what is.
Mm.
So leather and bourbon it is.
Lots of bourbon.
Well, I don't drink it, but it smells like bourbon, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. I know. I
Or
know.
mahogany teakwood or something or whatever that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe I'll go back to incense. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
healing, Reiki healing or whatever, um, acupuncture,
Mm.
everything is allowed. Why not?
Yeah.
If it makes the dream better, why not?
Yeah. It's just the whole thing of not realizing that the addiction was there. And
Yeah.
then, I guess it's kind of, if it was alcohol, if somebody offered me a glass of wine or if I kind of felt, oh, maybe I'll just have a small one, I'd
There's
know.
no such thing as a small wine. Just
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It is what it is, whatever it is. And it's very everything is allowed, right? So if
Mhm.
someone actually asked me in a Zoom, in a one-on-one Zoom, because Emerson, I still meditate. I'm like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong, because I just heard you, you
Mhm.
don't meditate. There's no prerequisites to what is.
Oh God,
Meditation or no meditation, it's the same.
there's an aversion thing going on here. I was listening to somebody and they were a non-dual speaker, but they had if they were affiliated with non-dual radical non-dualism, and they were doing stuff. They're going, now we're going to meditate because I like to meditate and it does.
I'm not sure who that is. I'm interested now. Okay, everybody lengthen your spine, tuck your chin, inhale, expand your, just joking. Again, there's nothing wrong or right about meditation. If it makes the dream, whatever, it's still a dream. It's not like there's no checklist. There's no qualifying practices. Practicing, no practicing, it's the same. There's nothing better, there's nothing worse, it's just what is. I have to be honest though, I haven't meditated in quite a while. Now that's being said. It's been like 4 or 5 years, I think. And it actually I have so much more things to do now. Like, there's just so much more free time. I'm not sitting for 3-4 hours trying to unite with the breath and trying to align. But there's nothing wrong or right about that again. It's just what is. Maybe because I did it for 10 years. Maybe I was teaching it. Maybe that's why. But I did laugh a lot when I used to be an interviewer, and I would interview a non-duality teacher, and then the non-duality teacher would try to come into this space, and I would just burst into laughter. I don't know why, because they're trying to kind of like create this space of serenity. I do like candles though. Thank you, Laura. I like candles and I like acupuncture too, to be honest. It's cool. But I love reflexology the best. Foot massage. Hi, Emerson. Do you think that you wasted a lot of time, or a lot of time was wasted with spirituality? Actually, since it was just seen as a happening. It's like a dream that, there's no regret doing any of it, actually, to be honest. There's really no regret. It's just what is, right? There was just this, it's like there's a dream. Do you regret your dream at night? Not really. Do you wish you could have done something else? Not really. It's just what is. So the apparent collapse was just seen that everything prior to the apparent collapse, although no one collapsed, was seen as just this really vivid dream. In this vivid dream, there was a teacher that meditated a lot, that also fell apart and partied a lot. It's a dream. Yes, no such thing as a waste. Or you can also say everything is a waste. The same thing. Hi, Emerson. Are you going to stream the 6 o'clock meeting? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to stream it, but I might not have a mic. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Really, really, the 6 o'clock Toronto meeting is for eating. We're going to eat after, which is the priority. If eating is not priority, I don't know. I'm just joking. But it is actually eating. Yeah. When I go to California, Tej, we better eat a lot. Do you eat a lot, Tej?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
That's what I was doing right now, actually,
Oh,
being in the kitchen.
We're gonna eat a lot in Germany too.
Oh,
Next
I'm going to
August,
Kiss
where-
Leg then.
at Tony's. Mhm.
A lot of marmalade with Tony, right?
Oh, but he's very fussy about the marmalade. I offered him to make marmalade for him. I said, no, but it's not what you Germans say marmelade. It's must be very English marmalade.
Yeah. What's his brand again? There's a brand that he likes, right, for marmalade.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hi, Emerson. How do you know it's a dream? There's actually no knowing. So it's very dreamlike. The knower that was certain about something like reality, like existence, like the source, like everything that, the pillars of what was holding together the character, maintaining that I am real, that I am, that I have free will or choice, and that I am special, all that kind of stuff. What seemed to have collapsed is that everything, when the character bleeped out, so to speak, when it was just a bleep, meaning that there was just nothing, it's actually hard to express in a narrative, because what happened is not a narrative. Although it comes across as a narrative, it comes across everything as a story, but there was a seeing that it's a story. So the character that was highly regarded as, I was saying, as a serious spiritual teacher was nothing at all. It's like when you wake up from a dream and then everything that you have previously thought that was completely real was absolutely absent. You're like, I was talking to someone earlier, and I don't really talk a lot about, but there was a period that I could not really speak a lot. Like there was a month of just the body was just walking back and forth. Again, don't compare it, you know what I'm saying? Because this is just a story as well. There was just a lot of looking out the window and seeing that nothing was separate. Nothing was separate from the ocean, from the I was in the beach house, from the beach. And the body was just, and there's really no body, but it was just like moving back and forth, eating, walking, pooping. That was basically it. And there was one moment that I was lying down in bed. There was no eye. And I jumped out because there was this movement, I was like, what the hell? There's this, the heart was beating, the chest was moving back and forth, the stomach was moving back and forth. And it was just this complete kind of like, what is going on? So that's basically what is just, there's just this seeing that is just walking, breathing, laughing, crying, but there's no one behind it. It's like when I was talking to someone, well, a few people, when there is a seeing that there is, I can't find the self. Where did the self go? It was never there in the first place. So the lullaby or the enchantment of the self, the reality, is seen as just a spell. It's a spell. Yeah, like a baby, exactly, Laura. It's like seeing through infant eyes, right? The world appearing. And because the baby does not know what separation is, it just sees everything as what is. It does not know what is you and I. It's just seen as what is. And even saying what is a little bit more it's really simple. It's just simply this. Simply this, yeah. And then for quite a while, I'm saying there was clarity, but I think that even by opening the mouth, it was muddying the water because it was already clear. Everything is really clear. And then sometimes when the speaking also happens, and that's also clarity. But for quite a while, I thought that by speaking about this was muddying the water. But since it's a dream, muddy or clarity is the same. But yeah. Hey, Emerson, what kind of practices did you do? Oh, everything. I was one of those characters that, when you're betting on something, you're betting on everything, just in case one was wrong. So for example, I secretly had a rosary, I also had some incense, like I did a Course in Miracles. I did the daily things. I did affirmations. I did my gratitude journal. I had what do you call those again? Vision board. I did manifestation. And at the same time though, I was kind of like, doing the consciousness awareness, everything that you can name it. And I was like a guru, kind of like chaser. I would chase gurus and, please give me your wisdom, that kind of thing. Even after the apparent, there was a period of just a lot of kind of like awakening and blissfulness. But when I started losing that, I was trying to grasp for straws. I was trying to grasp for everything. So there was trying to practice. And then, of course, I would still be, it was just still seeking, right? Even though there was a big giant, like in the story, awakening and everything, where everything was seen as God or oneness or whatever. When that was fluctuating and everything, there was a lot of there was channeling. I was kind of like reading about channeling. I was reading about ancient civilizations like Atlanteans, everything. If you read Richard Sylvester's book, highly recommended. It's Confessions of a Seeker. You will laugh out loud. It's very identical. I was planning to write something like that, but Richard has already written it, and you know what? It's all there. It's all there. It's very similar to a lot of ultra seekers. Did you do that too, Tej? You did a lot of those things? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots. At one point you could name the guru or so-called teacher and I'd know about them. So
Did you have a rating system at one point?
A what system?
A rating system of all the gurus. I would like put 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars.
I should have had. I think that would have helped me a lot.
But at one point, because I was I respected lineage and all that kind of stuff. I was trying to rate like Nisargadatta or Rama, and I'm like, oh no, that's sacrilegious. That's sacrilegious. So I'll rate all the other ones and 4 stars or 5 stars. And the more holy that they look, the higher the star system, right? The more ordinary they were, the more I rejected it. I'm like, oh, it can't be. It's impossible. Or the more suffering story was the best. If they have suffered so much, then they would be. I'm like, okay, that deserves another star. Like they have suffered so much. I'm not going to say the name, but there was someone that interviewed me and then was asking, it's a character that was really prominent before in coming to all the meetings. I'll tell you who it is, if you want to in another meeting, but not in public. So this character interviewed me and had this prerequisite. He goes, Emerson, have you done this, done that, done this? Then he goes, you're really legit because you did a lot of suffering.
That is hilarious. Now you think back on it, it's hilarious. Yeah,
it is. I'm like, there's no prerequisites. He goes, but you did suffer. Like in the story, there's a lot of suffering, but there's also it doesn't matter because, as I said in the beginning, it's a dream. Suffering or not suffering, cause or effect, it's all a dream. When it seemed clearly that this is just a dream, this is all illusion, but it's also emptiness at the same time, also stillness, also nothingness, whatever names you want to call it. There's no more separation. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and love, yeah.
And love. Oh, the love that, you know what? It's funny because I used to, when I was a spiritual teacher, my bio basically said, Emerson is a teacher of unconditional love. But you can't teach love.
No,
No, because love is already.
it is.
Love is
yeah.
what is. Love
Yeah.
is what is
Yeah.
wanted, but love is what is longing for love. It's all love.
That is fascinating. Yeah, they say that it is actually the love that's longing for the love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or love loves itself unconditionally, that it longs for itself unconditionally. It's like being in love. And it's like the love that you've longed for is always it. It always appears as whatever it is, unconditionally.
Mm.
And I thought before, when I was a teacher, that love was like being like a saint. There were conditions in my love, and my unconditional love was conditional, because I would be like I thought it was like selfless service. And I thought it was basically a bank account. I had a lot of love Bitcoin. But when it's seen that it's just a dream, that nothing really matters, because love already is. Or what did I say one time? It was like, oh, there's finally enough love. It was never missing, because here I was thinking that I lacked love, that I was, there was something missing. But when it's finally enough, it's just love. You're just like, yeah.
But you know what? With the Buddhist school I was with, it said, when you see your teacher or your guru as a friend, you get the blessing of a friend. If you can see him as a Buddha, you get the blessing of the Buddha. And okay, I think.
But when you see
just the normal, he's just a normal person.
But when you see your speaker as nothing, what do you get?
Oh.
That's funny. That's a good one, Emerson.
Then there's freedom, because it's nothing. There's no more teacher. There's no more student. It's just nothing.
No, I wanted to suffer and feel bad that I can't see the teacher as a Buddha. So, yeah.
You know what they also say, when you see a Buddha, you kill it.
I heard that, yeah.
Hi, Emerson. I know you mentioned that you did a lot of selfless service before. Do you still do any of that? Actually, yeah. You know what? There's no more agenda, so to speak. There's no more there's no more banking. It's funny, because when I was doing the selfless service, I was actually how do you say it? Selfishly doing it for the self. It was more of a, to maintain the self, the capital S self, right? And I thought it was just something, but I don't really talk a lot about this, but I'll answer it. For example, when it's cold, I do buy a bunch of socks, and go to a shelter, because I know that what's needed in a shelter are socks, or or just hanging out, going out, to a shelter and drinking coffee with characters. And but there's no more advertisement for it, so to speak. There's no more purpose to it, other than it's really fucking cold outside sometimes, so you need to give some coffee and socks sometimes. And it's just the character is free to be what it is. So there's this character that's an eldest son that in the apparent conditioning likes taking care of others. That's
Well,
basically
actually,
it.
you're doing it right now. Otherwise, you would charge us $500 for every meeting.
Oh, it's actually $1,000, Petra. I don't know if you saw the
Oh,
memo.
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's just this gladness, there's contentment
Yeah.
here, right? And although this is an illusion, this is a dream, since no one is choosing to do anything, there's just this character that is just free to be what it is, right? And it's it's not about look at me, it's more of it's just a happening. It's just a happening. I do like hanging out with homeless characters sometimes, right? Because it's just so refreshing. It's so refreshing to talk, and when and then sometimes, what, it's funny because I think I mentioned in the last meeting that you'll encounter some clarity in some of the homelessness, that sometimes in the when there is just seeing that there's really no difference from homelessness and a billionaire. It's just what is, right? And there's usually more contentment when there's nothing in the story anyway, right? They go from homeless shelter to homeless shelter. And then when they see kind of like someone with the sock, they're like, oh, you're the sock guy, that kind of thing. And there's just appreciation. And then you strike up a conversation, and it's not trying to be a do-gooder or whatever. It's just what's happening. It's the same thing as walking away from it. It's a dream. Yeah. Lauren? Hey, Lauren. Did I miss Lauren? Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually realized I was having such a good time listening to you and Petra, but
Oh, yeah.
I put it on my hand. Well, oh man. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I was gonna just ask about energy and the energetic thing with this communication.
Yeah.
So when I think I had this, deep resonance with Jim Newman, and it was like, wow,
Yeah.
he's, and then I started resonating a lot with your communication, and I started to realize that there's something about the communication, whatever that means, like
Yeah.
something about either that you are all coming from the same thing,
Yeah.
or it's something about the words as well, whatever it is. So it's energetic and it's not personal. But I'm just curious how, that I've had a very significant energetic awakening in the story. And I gave away almost everything, money.
Same.
Yeah. And then I just got kind of in the story, back into fear somehow.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know.
It's actually a really beautiful story, right? Like you've gone to the mountaintop and realized that there was nothing there as well. Right? You've done everything to secure this place in apparent enlightenment or awakening, and you think that you got there, only to see that it was really nothing. That it was just it's just what's happening. And I did the same. I climbed the summit. Basically, I went through the mountaintop, and on the way to the summit, I thought that I had to drop everything so I could climb it. So I gave away all my possessions. But when you get to the summit and it's just an illusory summit, the downfall is harsh.
Yeah.
You can like wish you had that really nice down, down feather duvet that you gave away
Exactly.
because it can get really cold. But it's still a story. Everything is a story, right? And this communication is not really owned, it's not trademark, it's not owned by anyone. There's always could be different opinions. Like Jim will have a different opinion, Tony will have a different, everybody will have their own, but it's coming from empty, kind of like, it's the openness to it. It's the resonance with it, is that there's nothing to get. It's not being communicated to you because it's already done. It is what it is already. It's already complete. It's a whole communication. There's no kind of like, right away, in chapter 14. So if you've read one chapter, it's the same chapters all around in a book, so to speak, right? There's always nothing is an offer. What's being illuminated, nothing is, because there's nothing. And it's almost like I kind of like even call it kind of like almost kind of like a whistle blowing. Like, hey, you know what? There's nothing needed. it's like a broadcast, saying that, there's really no one here. It's like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
That it's nothing speaking to nothing, basically. Emptiness speaking to emptiness. And it's not even speaking at all. There's this kind of like this openness. I like calling openness rather than energy. But you can call it energy as well. Is just that it's unconditional love. It's unconditional love. To sum it up, it's hard to sum it up, but it's I would call it it's a communication of unconditional love, because everything is seen as it is, and it doesn't coddle, it doesn't it doesn't pacify, it doesn't give you kind of like a dangling carrot. It's already done.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, because before, when I was seeking, it was like it's almost like, and this is just a story, right? When I encountered this communication, it was almost like grace, where it's like, because I just kept on chasing and chasing and chasing nonstop, right? And I was just so exhausted. I was so exhausted. I was like, maybe if I think one of the last things that I was trying to do was, before these communications, like maybe I should go to a monastery. Maybe I should become a monk. Maybe I should clean more washrooms. Maybe I should do more seva. Maybe, it was just a lot of doing. But I was so exhausted from it, because imagine, like almost 20 years of seeking and doing and teaching, dedicating my life to, if I had a life to dedicate my life into, it's like I became a priest. My mom's wish came true. when I was born in a Catholic church, they said the firstborn is always the priest. So it's almost kind of like the version of the priest in spirituality. I became a spiritual teacher.
You're the coolest priest ever.
No.
You're not a priest. I was thinking earlier, I do watch some like running. I do a lot of running. I watch running videos, and they talk about diet sometimes. And they'll do these videos that are like a full day of eating. And I was thinking I should do a video on a full day of seeking. Like wake up super early, meditate for an hour,
Yeah.
do like maybe 75 minutes of breath work, do a cold shower.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the cold showers at 4 o'clock in the morning? Was it 4 o'clock? You do 4 o'clock, right?
I wasn't so hardcore. It was like 5:30.
Oh, no, you're not good. I'm just joking.
That's why I haven't had my realization.
Not 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, Lauren, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. No, I used to do that. I did a 4 o'clock, then meditation. And it was just seeking. Everything was seeking. The practices were still seeking.
Yeah.
It was just, you're kind of like, for me, like meditation for me was like fishing, hoping that you catch the whale of happiness, right? Yeah. You're kind of like, oh, there, no. Oh, there, no. Oh. And that's what I did. Again, there's nothing wrong or right. Some people like fishing, but I like the buffet now, right? There's what is just a buffet. So I like running. I like playing with my dog. I like eating, dancing. It's a buffet. It's full, right? So it's not like before. It was like I felt like I was submissive. It was just the life of repression. It was repression. Because I was trying to live that life of almost like a bodhisattva, so to speak, right? Where, I was believing in my own holiness and everything, that I can't even have judgments or bad thoughts about others. Now I love gossip.
If gossip is happening. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I feel like a lot of things, like, I stopped eating my mom's apple pie because it was
Yeah.
gluten-free and it wasn't organic. And
Yeah.
I had some yesterday, and it just, the scenario and the story behind it was there's so much more to it. But just, in short, it just feels so much better, although it's not as if I'm comparing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're much more simple and easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to do something to get somewhere anymore. It's just
Yeah.
like, and at the same time, it feels in a sense like that, just in this moment, like as if maybe all of my aspirations are being like cast into the void.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Being sucked into black hole.
yeah, and
It's really nothing.
not for any reason,
Yeah.
just because everything is new. And it's not as if I'm not claiming anything. The resonance with these talks is so much different than listening to Eckhart Tolle and really trying to keep everything at bay,
Yeah, totally. Because it's the lack of pedestals, right? It's the ordinariness. It's the laughter and not the seriousness of what is being spoken about. When I remember going to satsangs and all those kind of meetings and everything, and it's almost like there's a maintenance of sacredness. It's like going to church.
Yeah.
If you notice it, going to satsangs is like going to a religious kind of like, like this ritualistic thing. And lo and behold, if my feet is showing to the guru, the bottom of my feet. Or if I'm wearing kind of like something that does not, match the outfits, it's like a cult, right? When you go into this kind of like a spiritual practices and everything is very kind of like almost the same.
Yeah.
The personalities are all kind of like muted. And when going to these meetings, I was quite surprised that people can challenge the speaker. People can scream at the speaker and actually like it. Because before, when I was a spiritual teacher, you were not, like you would have like a parent, people in the inner circle that would quietly shush away that person, and they're like, you can't ask that question here or something. You're protected. There was this kind of like maintenance. There was this hierarchy, right, of people that in spirituality, that it's all kumbaya and it's all love and light and everything, but when they ask a question that should be asked, and it's just they're just kind of like, the mic is turned off, or they're kind of like pushed away. And you see this with a lot of the bigger teachers. There's this it's they're not supposed to be questioned, and there's this holiness, these titles, this divinity, this sacredness, this divine thing that is attached to that teacher. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. If people want to keep their sacred cows, you know what I'm saying, fed and dressed.
That's
So
fine.
so what? Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I see the beauty in that too, you know what I'm saying? So what? It's like, oh, it's really pretty, you know what I'm saying? But it's just it's like a show now. It's like a show.
Yeah, it's what I find the reason why we talk about it or raise it is because of the change in what it was for me before versus how I see it now.
Yeah.
It's like at the time I was so into it. I was so like I couldn't understand why other people weren't living in the now, just like you say.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like it would help them so much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I would even go to my brothers. I'm like, you're not in the now. They're like, what the hell? I'm like, you're always trapped in the past and everything. And I would try to convert them into the power of now. And then I would like buy like books that I really like. You know, I think I've given out like maybe like 20 Power of Now and The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer books, you know, to everyone. You know, it's kind of like,
Yeah. And yet it's always just been looking for this kind of romance with what is. And
yeah.
I just the openness of this message or option is so much more, it's so much more freeing.
It is. It is. There's a lot of laughter now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cheekiness.
And simplicity.
But there's an obviousness of the passion and the love for speaking about this, right? It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, oh, Kathy said your background is heavenly. It is. Welcome back to the crowd. No more. Yeah, no more pedestals. It's I remember, like, you know, before when I was a teacher, that it was very lonely. It was very, very lonely because there was this, it was just, it's like you think that you're in a different level than everybody else. And of course, you know, when you are, you know, you have mentors, then your mentors would remind you of that don't mingle with your students. Weird, really weird. It is what it is.
All I have left at this moment is to say just the appreciation for you. I know it's not a testimonial.
Yeah.
It's just so much appreciation. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have too. You know what? I have a lot of appreciation, but not for anyone, just appreciation. Yeah. I'm glad that you're smiling now. We had that talk before. There was a lot of like, remember those talks that we had in one-on-ones? You're like,
I do. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there was nothing on offer.
Yeah.
Which was perfect.
And you're like, I'm waiting for something. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Starvation. Thank you.
Starvation. Yeah, it was exhaustion. Yeah. Susie. Hello. Guest one.
Hi. I don't know why I'm calling guest one. I have no idea. But anyway. It's just up there. It's, you know, funny. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but I've got a couple of friends that have, you know, gone back into Eckhart Tolle, and just listening to that kind of dangling carrot.
Yeah.
You know, there's just this promise of getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, where now? You know, it's just
silly now. It's so silly, huh? It's like, and you know, because it's so silly and it's just so comedic that there's no even point of trying to fix it. It's just what is.
Yeah, but you know, like when I'm hearing them share, and it's all innocence, obviously, but when I hear them share, it's kind of like this thing that's going to happen, and it's like this excitement.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what's going to be, what's going to come, what's
yeah,
going to come.
yeah, yeah.
And
And it's almost
yeah,
one-upmanship, when in communities like that. It's
yeah,
almost like, it's almost like, because I was there, it's kind of like, I was in the now for 3 days and 40 minutes. I was for 5 hours.
yeah. But I think it's also that romancing of, that whole thing of something getting better,
Yeah.
something improving,
It's
something rather than this. Even it's saying now, but
Yeah.
it's not meaning now.
Yeah.
It's not meaning now. It's
Yeah.
meaning getting to the now.
The dream of a better dream is still a dream. Yeah.
Standing there, he's the one that's in the now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. It's there's it's just what it is, right? It's
Yeah.
just, I just see it as innocence. And I'm like, but I was talking to a friend of mine that laughs with me now. We're laughing at a lot of things now because this character was also following the same kind of like, we would giggle, like, I know this is probably wrong, but when I would hear kind of like chanting, I used to chant, I used to kind of like do satsangs, I used to do call and response, but I get into fits of laughter now. And he goes, remember when you did that, Emerson? I'm like, yeah. I used to do that. I used to do have the harmonium, and do a call and response and that kind of thing.
Look, I had a Tibetan, prayer bowl.
Oh yeah, I had one of those too.
I had one of those in Udonga, and then and I had the Tibetan flags and the whole spirituality thing,
Yeah. Did you have crystals?
Oh, good grief! Yeah, I had the whole thing. I had a little bindi, and
Oh, did you?
there was the whole schmozzle, and it's so funny because it's all over. It's all over. It's just all that, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's over, and I didn't do a thing because there's no one.
You never did anything, Susie.
And I know, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? That's
it is.
So, because this character really had like this idea that
you didn't even try.
That I didn't hear that. Yeah, I know. But this character really thought she really did a lot of things.
Yeah.
And had a lot of things done to her, and there was a lot of blame, and so that's the funny thing about this whole thing is none of that's really looked at. None of those, things that we try to let go of and pray about and whatever, or forgive, let go. And none of those are worked on, and yet somehow, they're just not there, and it's just not even a big deal.
Yeah. And even if you did something, it was still not a big deal.
Yeah, but I guess you wouldn't even, but even if you did it, you wouldn't really be doing it. It's just
exactly.
Everything's just happening.
Exactly,
It's just beautiful. Like,
it's the art of non-doing.
The immediacy of this is incredible. It's just this. It's just the computer, the wall.
It's just this. Yeah, that's it. So simple. So immediate. So does not need anything at all. No understanding. No, for quite a while I thought that what was being spoken about was like a puzzle or something that I have to figure out, and it was not.
Well, it was like it was always this kind of like the abstract was such the reality of what was here. It was just like a nightmare. The abstract was a nightmare, and it would be just sitting on this couch and be like, whoa. And it's just just sitting on the couch.
It's very it's like it's like a sobriety from all of that drunkenness in spirituality in applied non-duality, right? It's like, okay, you know what? It was just and it's like this, yeah, it's just this, it's like it's simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. And you know, and it is simple as that, because it's just this. It doesn't matter. It's not a way.
Yeah.
So like, you can't
You've
catch
lost
me.
your way, Susie. That's
Yeah,
probably
you
what
can't
people from
catch
your
me.
old community is saying. Susie
Yeah,
has
yeah,
lost
you
her
slipped
ways.
up
Now
there. Yeah.
now she's
Yeah.
talking about nothing.
Yeah.
For me, the
Right.
measurement, if there's any measurement, and this is just the funny, it's just the laughter and the contentment, right? And it's just that, you know, when I used to kind of like, you know, when I used to go into this spiritual and in this community, there was just so much seriousness that it felt like church, and it was like church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, for me, I don't know what it is. It feels like I just wake up,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. You just
You
kind
know,
of like,
like, and the rest, and just everything unfolds.
yeah,
And yeah, so it's just that.
it's just that.
Yeah, that's
And
it. That's it.
it's just it defies logic, it defies anything at all, because it's just
Yeah. Right.
love,
Thanks, Emerson. Nice
love,
talking to you.
love, love, love,
Love you.
love you. Petra. Hey, Petra.
I think I already forgot what I wanted to say. When we're now laughing about Crystal and the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I mean, in the dream, I was so desperate. I would have done anything to just that it's getting better somehow. So Crystal is fine, and I remember in the branch
they're pretty cool.
it was not that serious, and we had really fun in the crowd, and I found very nice friends also, and I mean, for me it was never about the guru. It was just a nice crowd to
Well, you know what,
hang
the
out.
sense of longing for community too, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that was kind of what it is too. But it was fun until everybody got serious that you're wrong, or you know, that kind of thing. It becomes this
when it got
hierarchy.
stiff somehow, and the hierarchy. Yeah.
That's what I like about this some of the kind of like, I like your group. You guys have a you know, just like there's no hierarchy. There's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
There's no hierarchy. There's just this it's just an openness.
Right.
Just an openness, you know, it's just what is. And it doesn't matter, you know, what opinions are and everything. It's just seen as what is too. Right? It's just any narrative is just what is, and there's nothing wrong or right about anything at all. It's just the openness of it. There was a seriousness in
and at that time there was this hope that there's something better somewhere.
Yeah.
So as I said yesterday, it's now, wow, the hopelessness is so freeing.
It is. Because before I was a shopper for hope, right? I'm like, how much is hope? And I would go to different is this a really hopeful thing? And then somehow when I was told that there's no hope, I'm like, oh, you mean I can't buy hope? I can't go for a teacher training for hope. You know, I can't be a teacher of hope. When it was just like flat out just said there's no hope.
And especially my hope.
My hope, yeah. Yeah, it was very brutal, but it was what was needed. It was very, very kind of like cut it's like dry almost. And yeah. And I like that, there's a lot of characters that are coming from, I get a lot of letters now from I don't know how are my videos getting into so many different I don't have a lot of and I like keeping it, I like being underground. I don't like to be I think I've shared this before. There's no preference. If it happens, it happens, but there's no preference in being a popular speaker. I like the smallness, so I can talk to everybody. There's just this stuff, because I remember when I got to be a popular teacher, when I was just too much. It was just too much. And but somehow there's some of these videos, I think people that are into awareness and I am and everything, they're listening to this and they're like, what the hell is he talking about? And there's usually this angry kind of like YouTube comment or this like email. And I'm like, hey, do you want to talk? Want to do a one-on-one? Do you want to have a chat? So that there's going to be some whatever. And they're just like, and then all of a sudden softness comes. They're like, oh. It's hilarious. But thank you, Petra. Susie, hello.
Hi, just going on with what Petra was saying, like with the communities and, it's so funny because there's such like a yearning to belong when you got that
Yeah.
with spirituality. And so they offer this sense of a community.
Yeah.
And then, and a sense of belonging. But then it's really hilarious because you pay them shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Then you like work like a slave.
Yeah. I remember, traveling and
washing, and then you might get a
washroom
glimpse
floor.
of the guru, just to get a glimpse of him,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of money spent. Like it was like the retreats, like just the airfare and the hotel. And then sometimes, you would share an accommodation, but it would still come up to $5,000. Like what the hell? It was just one after the other. Like it was just like, and you're restless as a seeker, right? So you're kind of like, going from, from guru to guru to see which one. And then you work your way up. I'm not going to mention the names of the teachers, but you work yourself to the top teachers, and the more expensive they are, but the more farther they are, the more inaccessible they are, because you know what, it's
and then the irony is everybody just really is yearning to be home, which is where they're already at, and it's like it's just such a scam.
and this in the community, right? To be able to be in that inner circle community, if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like you have done all the thing now. You to be able to kind of like access that inner circle thing. It's like you have paid like tons of money already. And and it's just, yeah, it is what it is.
It's to be special. It's to be special.
A bit on both fences, on the opposite and in the fence with it, so to speak.
And this
right?
is so cool because this is so ordinary.
It is
Anything but special.
It is, and it's just the simplicity of it. That's why, you know what, and I get it now that this communication is not going to be super popular, because it has nothing to it doesn't hook the listener into.
But that kind of what screws with me, because I understand what you're saying. It's hopeless, there's no, but who wants hope? Hope is like shit. It's just
but it's the currency of the that's the currency of the spiritual community, is the hope market, right? Now that it's seen, Susie, what's that even, right? It's like, what's that?
I know.
Yeah. You want a slice of hope, and you give up everything for a slice of hope that's not even real. Yeah,
it's just great, isn't it? Hopelessness, I love it.
Thank you for sharing. I like that, Tej. We have a word for it. It's not seva, it's slava. I remember having to pay to do seva. I had to pay.
Isn't that amazing?
It did not make sense at that time, but you know what? You don't question it, right? You're just kind of like, why am I paying to be a slave?
Right.
Why am I paying to kind of like to do work and at the same time pay for my accommodations and then still clean up for the whole thing? It was just like, what the hell? Here you are spending thousands of dollars cleaning washrooms, you know, and
Yeah.
it is what it is though. It's you know, it's like yeah. Someone made a comment. Yes, goes, you were that gullible. I'm like, yes, I was, because again, you know what, when there is this kind of like almost like it's like how do you call it? It's like madness, right? It's like when you get a bite of it, you know, this idea that there's something that you can attain, you would go all out for it.
Mhm. Yeah, there was the yearning for something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yearning for love. Yeah.
It is. It's just a longing for love, and love
Mm,
is just longing for it, but it's already it.
exactly.
And then it's very and the gullibility, because there is thinking that there's a lack, but lack is just a thinking, and thinking is just not even there.
Yeah.
No regrets though. No regrets. It's just what is.
Oh no, it's actually hilarious when you look back on it.
Yeah.
Imagine paying to do slava. I mean,
I know.
it's hilarious.
It is. It is. It's also funny that, you know, that here, you know, like you're paying this character, you know what I'm saying, that's on a pedestal, and then um it's almost like it's a what do you call it? It's a privilege to do
Mhm.
all of this work for this character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
I mean, there was so much despair at that point, and somehow you already realized that there's something like a me which can't get out of it, and you were sure there is someone who can guide you somehow out of this me thing. So
Yeah,
I,
and
I have to
there's a
say there
promise,
was
right?
so much despair here.
And there's a promise. Usually there's almost like, you know, there's a fake sincerity, you know, that, you know, it's almost like there. And ooh, someone asked, have you heard from no, I actually messaged that speaker, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna mention the name. Message the speaker to see if that person was okay. Yeah. There's still compassion, apparently, for no one. You know what I'm talking about, Tej. But yeah, yeah, there's going to be some confusion with a lot of teachers out there, that they think that they're teaching something, and and um and it's, I see it as innocence, but also in the same token, I would stay away from it, right? You know, if there's a promise of something, because if you really look at it, it all falls apart. It all falls apart. With my seeking, all the promises that were made, it's like an unrequited lover. You're kind of like writing love letters, you're cleaning the washroom for this, and they don't even look at you. When all of a sudden you realize that it's, oh, this is also love. Everything is love. Nothing is needed, then you leave. Because it's just love.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. To that person, yes, I reached out to both of them. I've reached out just to, basically said, non-duality speaking aside, if you would like to reach out, here's my number. Basically, that's it. If you would like to talk, yeah. Probably just a story, but can you talk more about on how to get out of hell? Go to the middle of it. This is relevant to criminal courts. It's almost like to see that everything is, it's from the Dante's Inferno kind of thing. That saying, if you want to get out of hell, go through it. Go to the middle of it. Does that make any sense? If you want to go through the illusion, go through it. Could it be said that non-duality is also, yes, everything is, there's not even a non-duality. That's just another word. That's just another concept. It's just everything is an illusion. But what's great about, what is about this is that it's just say it as it is. It doesn't give any kind of dangling carrots, or it doesn't pretend to be what it is not. It is just what it is. Everything is just seen as this illusory appearance. And there's nothing to get. Everything is already what it is. Just very simple. And for this character that has done, like a couple of decades of teaching, seeking, losing, and everything, it was almost like a sobriety that this is just a dream. There's no maintenance of a higher reality, so to speak, or a higher concept or a lower concept or a better story. It's just a story. So when it was seen that this was just, there's no reality, there was a relaxation, so to speak, that, okay, it's like that nursery rhyme, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. But although there's no one rowing the boat, life is but a dream. But if you want to add to that, please go ahead. Yes, tomorrow it's 11. I think I'll do 3 meetings tomorrow because I'll have more time. Today I'm going to Toronto. Yeah, actually I'm saving. It's funny because I lost a whole bunch of writings because I had a crashed computer. But there was just this kind of like, I had to rewrite because I'm doing an introduction to the book that I've been talking about for months now. It will come out eventually. So I started writing in this chapter. So there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. Hi, Emerson. I really liked your talk yesterday. That was really brilliant. About, yeah, thank you. What did I talk about yesterday again? I don't remember. One was there's no color. Yeah. Thank you. Tomorrow, the same time at 11, and then 2 o'clock, and then another one. Yeah.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi. Who's that?
This is Forrest.
Hey, Forrest.
Speaking.
Hey, happy birthday.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. It's Forrest's birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Forrest, how old are you now?
I'm 22 right now.
Oh, you old man.
Yeah.
But you're cute. Happy birthday.
How are you doing, my son?
It's good.
Okay.
Really good. Like, my dad was at China.
Yeah.
And my mom and I live in Toronto.
Yeah.
So my dad gave me like birthday present, like cash. So I bought a lot of gifts. So like gifts is coming, like parcel coming, unboxing every day. It was amazing.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Are you coming tonight? You're coming tonight, right?
Yeah, I'm planning to.
Okay, good. Did
So
I give you the
probably,
address?
I don't have the address yet.
I emailed it to you. I'll email it again. I'll text it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a dinner, right? It's like mostly eating.
We're gonna have a little talk, and then you're gonna eat somewhere or something.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm ready to spend the whole night like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. You're close to that area. It's in Lakeshore, so it's probably like 40, 30. I gave you the address before. Remember, you were supposed to take the bus. Oh no, that was in Brampton. That's a different address. This is in Toronto.
Yeah, I can take the subway.
Yeah.
It's really
Alright.
close to a subway station.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Lakeshore
I don't
area.
have a car yet, but yeah.
It's okay. It's all right.
There's no use driving a car in downtown Toronto.
No.
You can't find a parking lot
That's
spot
right.
either.
Yeah. And it's expensive. If you find a parking lot spot, it's
Oh,
expensive.
yeah.
The
Really
Green
is.
Pea parking
Last
is so
time-
expensive. Yeah.
Last time I met a friend and I drove there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even spend a night either, but I took $40 something to park my car.
You could have taken
Yeah.
an Uber.
Yeah, I could have. Oh, because I was planning to I was gonna take my friend to Scarborough and see the White Cliffs or something like a
Yeah.
sightseeing, like a short trip, road
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
So that's why I took my car. I drove my car. Yeah.
Nice. How's the translating going on for the book?
Oh, the translating, I stopped
Oh, you
because
stopped?
yeah.
Too much non-duality?
Yeah, I think I stopped seeing non-duality videos for a while now.
Good.
For like almost like 2 months. Because the first month I stopped seeing because of the final. I didn't do good at the midterm. So
Yeah. I know
I
you're
did
going to
good at
school and
final, so I'm
everything.
proud of it.
You're doing good now? Yes.
Yeah.
I think
passed.
yay.
Yeah.
Good.
And last week, since January 1st, I got like a weird cold, like flu or something.
Yeah.
Because I spent a night at my friend's apartment and
Yeah.
I didn't sleep. They all
Yeah.
sleep. So I didn't sleep. I wasn't even tired. So like wake up, I stayed up all night and
Yeah.
then I hop on a Uber driver like after like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I was still awake. And the Uber driver, the air freshener is like so much chemistry, like a
Chemical.
chemicals, so much chemicals. Like it causes cancer, you know?
Yeah.
That Uber driver, I'm not saying rude to him, but he literally looked like a guy on the cigarette box, you know?
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is.
So probably that I stayed up all night. I have like very low
Energy.
and immunity.
Immunity.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
I was about to call you up and ask you to
Oh,
come
yeah.
dancing at 4:00 in the morning, but maybe it's good that I was DJing
in the
for
morning.
New Year's. For New Year's. Yeah, for New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
too late. It was too late. I was like, Forrest will like this, but next time. Next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I can come to your DJ party or something more often.
Yeah. I'll message
If I
you.
can.
I'll message you. It's coming up again soon, so I'll message
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
like
sure.
I have the VIP list, you know what I'm saying? And but if you're in there, you don't even have to line up. So it's good.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, it's okay even if I only see you on stage and I'm back at the audience. You know, it's okay.
Okay.
I just want to see you DJ.
Okay. All right.
You'll probably sprinkle
But
some magic.
you can
like
come in as a
non-dual
VIP and
magic-
you can be
magic.
right beside the DJ booth. And then
It's all
be in
it's all fine as
Okay.
long as I can join there. You know.
Yeah. It's a big place.
It's amazing already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, first. I'll see you
Yeah.
tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Forrest is my imaginary son. Just in case you guys know.
In this case, the VIP thing is okay. Otherwise, no special.
No
But
specialness. Yeah.
if it's your son, it's okay.
The VIP has free liquor. That's why. How long does it play out for you when there are no others? How does it play out for you? It's just seemed like a dream. It seems like there are others. It seems like a and this is just a story as well. And it's really funny because sometimes it's just the normalcy of it, but there's also a seeing that there's nothing behind everything, meaning that this is an entire dream. And there is just a lot of laughter. It's just full on. It's full on. It's just this aliveness. It's love. That's basically it. It's just love. It's just this nothing divided. And then even if there is a thought about division, that's also not divided because there are really no thoughts. One thing that was really funny though is when after the COVID, I went to the mall and it felt like this Sim City game, you know, like, I don't know if you've played Sim City, like everything is just like RPG character and it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious. So there's no more seriousness, so to speak, of what seems to be occurring. Oh, is that your cat, Tej?
Yeah, she's
Oh, nice.
deciding that she wants to sit on the laptop.
Hi, Emerson. What are you going to be talking about tomorrow? I really don't know. But there's a couple of things that I've written down, a couple of titles. Yeah, surprise, surprise. There's always this, there's gladness in speaking about something. It will just come up. Like, for example, today I got that letter, so I talked about that. But yeah, the empty fluidity of the formless form, something like that. The surprise of nothing happening. I don't know. Yeah. But there'll be 3 meetings tomorrow. Yeah. If you guys want. Yeah. All right. Maybe some chats at the end, maybe with some wine or some beer or some tea or some kombucha, whatever. Yeah. What do you drink? So this is a true story. When I was a spiritual teacher, there was this drink called enlightenment. I used to drink this drink called enlightenment. It's like a mint tea. It's so funny when Ariana was in Toronto, I picked it up. I'm like, this is what I used to drink, Ariana. And then she laughed really, really hard. what is freedom to Emerson? The freedom to Emerson is there's no more Emerson. Emerson used to have a definition of what freedom is. So freedom appears as it is, without the influence or the structure or the definition of what freedom should be. Freedom is nothing maintained anymore. When Emerson was seeking freedom or maintaining freedom, there was a lot of maintenance. I used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take cold showers, meditate, barely eat nothing, practice seva, self-serving others. And so to me, that was what freedom was. Freedom is just as it is. Freedom can appear as sadness or even a conflict or even sadness, grief. One of the best freedom that I've seen was when I cried and cried and cried and cried over the loss of my dog. That was freedom crying. There was no holding back. And then freedom also is seeing that the sadness disappears and it comes back like grief. Thank you. Oh, this is what is suffering to Emerson? What is suffering? It's a construct. It's a cyclical entanglement of a narrative. Or an avoidance or a rejection of what is, and then maintaining that narrative over and over. I don't even know what that is anymore. But there was suffering before because there was always wanting something that is not, always longing for something, always avoiding what is, and dreaming away or trying to fantasize about something that is in the next. So looking for the next when there is no next. Do you feel the body but have no sense that you are really there? There's this felt sense of reality, but there's also an unknowable that there's no one here. So it's this simultaneous appearance. It's like being of this world, but not of this world. It's like having arrived, but not arriving at the same time. So it can't really be spoken in a way that it's like when you wake up in the morning and there's a suspension of all belief. That permanence of stillness is this. But there's also this appearance of a character speaking, but there's really no one speaking. So there's no one behind here anymore. But drinking water happens. Speaking happens. But there's no one doing that. It's like the commentary is shut off. That there is, something wrong or right. And even when it appears, it's just seen as a commentary. Nothing is real. No context, yeah. Isn't the character the same as the me or not? There's actually no me or no character. It's just an appearance. It's like a dream character, basically. Some people call it a me, some people call it an individual. Whatever it is, it's just seen as a dream character. Yeah. It's like in a dream, the character seems real. You know, for example, when you're dreaming and then you are talking to someone, or when you feel that you're talking to someone, it feels absolutely unquestionable reality. But when there's an awakeness, when there's kind of like what felt absolutely real is also not real. Your talks because you're Salvador Dali. Yeah. I just have to get one of those kind of like Salvador Dali kind of like mustache. Thank you, Lauren. I like this filter actually. It looks kind of cool, but I'll probably it's like it's the camera. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. I have to go to prepare to do a live meeting. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Emerson.
I'll open the breakout room. And
Thank you, Emerson.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love ya.
Thank you, Emerson.
Oh, thank you.